everybody got paid except you who were out there walking up and down the street. We still haven't learned how to fight.
That's right.
In their attempt to exploit this tragedy, an elderly woman, I don't know how many of y'all saw it. I hope somebody in this room saw what I'm getting ready to say right now. The CNN reporters, well, you know how they just put the mic up to people's face and ask them, so what do you think, da-da-da-da-da-da-da? They put the mic up to one lady's face, elderly lady. When I say lady, I say maybe in her early 60s to 70s, somewhere in there. And she was hot. She was upset. I thought she was getting ready to talk about the cop. You know what she said, y'all? She said, if y'all had told us that he robbed a store, half of us wouldn't be out. That's what that lady said. And you know what's really deep about it? Out of all of the clips that CNN and the media kept playing over and over and over and over and over and over again, they never played her words again. Why not? Why didn't the media re-air what she said? It's called media manipulation. It wasn't a part of their agenda. Why did this young man die? Was it because of racism? Y'all, I have to be honest with you. I felt the heaviness of what's going on here all the way in Georgia. I mean, I actually felt it. I could feel the cloud of it. Our community, as wonderful and beautiful as we are as a people, just like that little hick town, you know, actually the chief of police of Ferguson needs to go work for Mayberry. He's a perfect police chief for Mayberry. You know, y'all remember Andy Griffin? You know, perfect. He's not prepared for modern day society and the pressures that come along with it. He's just a little town cop who wasn't ready for this. Why did this young man die? Was it because of racism? Was it because of bigotry? Because whether we want to admit it or not, there are a lot of bigots with badges. In fact, they just exposed one who was a sergeant out there, St. Louis County officer. And he was dumb enough to go ahead and make a tape talking about how he really feels about certain elements in society. Did this officer ride through the streets of Ferguson looking for an African male to kill or harass? Y'all think he just rode through the streets looking for somebody to kill? You know, y'all can hold your comments in, because I'm getting ready to go here with y'all, and I want y'all, everybody, look at the person next to you and say, leave your emotions out of this. I need to say that, y'all, because I see that some of us are so upset, some of us are so emotional, and anybody will tell you, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you in a minute what that predicament is called. When you get emotional, you don't think.
That's right, that's right, that's right.
You react. You grab what I'm saying? So please leave your emotions out of it if you can. Now some of y'all ain't going to be able to do it.
It's hard.
I can tell you right now, some of you are not going to be able to do it because you have to learn how to do it. See, I've encountered some of our folk right up in here. But when their emotions get high, they just all kind of mess come out their mouth. Because they're emotional at the moment. Why did Micheal Brown die? Why did Eric Gardner die? Why? And why have so many other black men died at the hands of out-of-control cops? Let's deal with it for a moment. Minister Stewart, go on to the next slide, please. Y'all see what that says? Can you read it?
Yes.
Talk to me. Can you read it?
Yes.
All right, so instead of going to Micheal Brown right now, let's go to Eric Gardner. Let's read what the law of New York State says, the New York penal law. Statute 35.27. Justification, use of physical force in resisting arrest is what? Now this is the law. Everybody say this. Say this ain't got nothing to do with what is right. Come on, talk to me. This ain't got nothing to do with what is right. Say it. This ain't got nothing to do with what's wrong. And it really ain't got nothing to do with how I feel. This is about what is legal. Now I'm going to tell y'all right up front, and I know I'm upset you when I say it because I'm upset about it. But guess what, y'all? Mark my word. This man will not be charged. And if he is charged, he's going to be acquitted. Did y'all hear what I said? If they do charge him, it will only be a pacifier. Whew. Anybody got Google on your phone? Google the word pacifier right quick. First person to get it. First person to get it. I want y'all to hear the definition of the word pacifier, because most of us, when we hear the word pacifier, you know what we think about? We think that little piece of rubber in a baby's mouth. The word pacifier existed before they made that little rubber. That's what they decided to call it because of what it does. But who can tell me the definition of the word pacify? What does the word pacify mean? Anybody see it yet?
Yes.
What does it say, Shirley?
Pacifier, dummy, binky, or soother is a rubber plastic.
No, not pacifier, pacify. I'm sorry. The word pacify, P-A-C-I-F-Y.
To ease the anger.
Okay, now what does it say?
To ease the anger.
To ease the anger
Or agitation.
or agitation
Of a person or the mind.
of a person or the mind or of the people. Is there any more?
To calm or soothe.
To calm or soothe
A feeling such as anger.
a feeling such as anger.
Number 3.
What does it say?
To end war.
To end war,
Fighting.
fighting,
Or violence.
or violence
In a region or country.
in a regional country. You ain't got to read no more. I think they get the point. They sent a pacifier in here by the name of Eric Holder.
Yeah.
And you know what Micheal Brown's mother said? She said, I feel so much better. Am I making this up? I feel so much better. Why? What was the objective of marching? Justice, right? Has it been served yet? No. Then why do we feel better? You see what I'm saying? In other words, when we say this is our objective, this is our goal, this is what we want. And see, the young people today ain't like the young folk when I grew up. These young folk today ain't scared of nothing. I mean, these young brothers out here today are warriors. Misguided, but they're warriors. And with the right, proper leadership, they'll be a formidable force to contend with. Y'all grab what I'm saying? So, Attorney General Eric Holder, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
He came in and he actually said to the woman, now listen, I want you to understand, this police officer may not be charged. That's what he told him. He might not be charged. And he had a reason for saying that. And you know why he's not going to be charged? Because he didn't break the law. Now, I know y'all don't feel like that. But see, again, there's a difference between how we feel and the letter of the law. And they know that he ain't going to be charged, so they're trying to come in and pacify everybody and push this matter way off for a couple of months before they let you know their findings. Of course, they're counting on our being pacifists by that time. Are y'all getting what I'm saying? Again, now I want you to, how many of y'all saw the video of Eric Gardner being killed?
Yeah.
And that's just how I'm going to say it. Being killed. Okay, for those of you who saw the video, let's look at this law for the state of New York. A person may not use physical force to resist an arrest. Do y'all see that?
Yes.
Did Eric Gardner use physical force to resist an arrest? Now, of course, he used physical force to try to, as he told the cops, he said, I'm tired of y'all messing with me. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. And then he said, this stops today. How many heard him say that? Y'all didn't hear him say that? Oh, that's what he said. Nobody heard him say that? Or am I making this up? Maybe I'm dreaming. Yeah. He said, this stops today. I'm tired of y'all harassing me and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Right, yeah, don't touch, right, exactly. When they went to put their hands on him, he, don't touch me, you know. So what did he do according to the letter of the law? He resisted. Notice what it goes on to say. A person may not use physical force to resist. Now, mind you, what I'm reading is for the state of New York, but every state has the same message, even though it may be worded a little differently. A person may not use physical force to resist an arrest, whether authorized or unauthorized. Are y'all getting this? Whether the arrest is authorized or unauthorized. So in other words, what you're telling me is this law enforcement officer can walk up to me and arrest me without authorization to do so? Which is being affected or attempted by a police officer or peace officer when it would reasonably appear that the latter is a police officer or peace officer. So in other words, what they're actually saying here is, if we're trying to arrest you, you better let us do it.
That's right.
Now, that doesn't sit well with any of us. Especially when you know you haven't done anything. And that's the number one thing I hear our brothers say. I haven't done nothing. Why you arresting me? I ain't do nothing. Everybody repeat after me. The scene is not the place to state your case. Write that down and frame it. The scene is not the place to state your case. The cops don't give a damn. They're not trying to hear your explanation. They don't want to hear your explanation. Are you getting what I'm saying? So when you resist, even verbally, hold up, man, what you arrest me for? I ain't do nothing. That's resisting. So brothers to teach our people how to live to fight another day. Y'all getting this? Because if you resist, physically or verbally, that automatically takes the cops to the next level in the force continuum. And I just had some stuff printed off to pass to y'all. We'll get to that in a minute. Next slide, please. Notice what it says. Statute 35.30. What was the first word I just said? Say it again. Statute. One more time. Statute. Remember that because I'm getting ready to deal with that.
All right.
Statute 35.30. Justification. Use of physical force in making an arrest or in preventing an escape. Again, this is the state of New York. This is New York penal law. A police officer or peace officer in the course of affecting or attempting to effect an arrest. Everybody says effect an arrest. Say that. Effect. Come on, talk to me. Effect an arrest.
Effect an arrest.
Brothers and sisters, hear me very well, please. The law says that a police officer has the right to use whatever force they deem necessary to effect an arrest.
That's right.
Are y'all hearing me?
Yes.
Please tell me you're hearing me.
Yes.
Now, I don't like that because that's why our young men are dying. Because they don't know. I really doubt seriously if Eric Gardner had known that his resisting was going to end up in his being dead. I'm sure if he had known that, he would have handled that situation differently. Or of preventing or attempting to prevent escape from custody of a person. Notice what it says in yellow. What does it say? Read it. Whom he or she what?
Reasonably believes.
Say it again. Reasonably believes to have committed an offense.
That's right.
That's some deep stuff, man, because what we're dealing with here is not what is in your head.
Right.
What we're dealing here with is what is in the mind of that law enforcement officer. That's what we're dealing with. That's why this man, what's his name? No, the cop who shot Mike Wilson. Wilson. That's why he is not going to be charged. Because out of everything that happened, y'all hear me, I've been through this too many times. I've seen it happen too many times. Out of everything that happened, the only thing that's going to matter in the court of law is what was going on in that officer's mind when he pulled the trigger. Everything that led up to it is literally irrelevant. And of course, after, what was going on in his mind when he pulled the trigger. And you know what's really deep about it? We haven't heard his testimony yet, have we? Let me share something with y'all. Okay? If he was going to be charged, he would have been charged no later than the following week. Now, I just say the trial will take some time if he is charged. But if they were going to charge him, in other words, if the prosecutor or whoever honestly thought that he did something outside of the scope of the letter of the law, he would have been charged. Are y'all getting this? And see, we are emotional, angry, and we're out there demanding an explanation, demanding whatever. Y'all, how many of y'all heard me say some time ago that there's a difference between making noise and having a voice? Y'all remember my saying that? There's a big difference between making noise and having a voice. I remember when the captain of the State Highway Patrol, Captain Johnson. When they sent him out there, you know what he said to y'all? He said, y'all can march all night long.
You sure said. You sure said.
Make as much noise as you want to. Now, am I making this up or did y'all hear it? What an insult. What a slap in the face. But that was the pacifier. Because we want to march. We want to make noise. We want to be heard. We want to sing. Say it loud.
I'm black and I'm proud.
I'm black and I'm proud. Like that's bringing results to this situation. But it gave some people a certain sense of relief. You know why? Because they got their whatever off. They got to vent their emotions. And how many times have y'all heard me say this since I've been here? We have to stop confusing activity with accomplishment. Please tell me you've heard me say that before.
Yes.
Have you heard me say that?
Yes.
There's a difference between an activity and accomplishment. Next slide, please. Deadly physical force. This is still state law for New York now. Deadly physical force may be used for such purposes only when he or she, meaning the officer, reasonably believes that regardless, y'all see that? Regardless of the particular offense, regardless,
Right.
which is the subject of the arrest or attempted escape, the use of deadly force is necessary to defend the police officer or peace officer or another person from what the officer reasonably believes to be the use or imminent use of deadly physical force. In other words, if the officer thinks that he's about to get his behind whipped, the law says he has the right to use deadly force. But guess what, y'all? That don't only apply to cops. That applies to you too. The use of deadly force. If you feel like your life is in imminent danger, the law says you got the right to stop that other person from breathing. Now don't go out here and make up an excuse, okay? I've been looking for a reason. Next slide. I think we get ready to go to, the fact that a police officer or peace officer is justified in using deadly physical force under circumstances prescribed in paragraphs A and B, which we just read, of subdivision 1, does not, check out this part, it does not constitute justification for reckless conduct by such police officer or peace officer amounting to an offense. I don't even know why they even wrote this part, because it doesn't make sense. Against or with respect to innocent persons whom he or she is not seeking to arrest. In other words, if you ain't seeking to arrest this person, then there's no why use deadly force. It's not even an issue. Go to the next slide. I think we're coming to the state of Missouri now.
Yep.
Does everybody know what RSMO stands for?
Yes.
Say it again, brother.
Yes.
Revised Statutes, Missouri. Okay? You can pull this up too on your phone. Just go to, Google Missouri Revised Statutes, and all of them will come up. Revised Statute Missouri 575.150. I think Minister Herndon dealt with this. Was it last week? Oh man, so much has been going on. It seemed like it's been 2 weeks ago. Notice what it says. A person commits the misdemeanor. Thought y'all were going to correct me. Are y'all with me? A person commits the misdemeanor. Oh, do y'all know the difference between a misdemeanor and a crime? In a court of law, according to the letter of the law, a crime is an indictable offense that you can be convicted for. A misdemeanor is something like disorderly persons. Or, for example, let's go back to the Micheal Brown situation. Shoplifting is a misdemeanor. Did y'all get what I just said? And see, a lot of people are upset because they think this young man died because of a misdemeanor. Now, once he put his hands on the owner of that store, by law, it became a crime. Are y'all getting this? Do you think the brother knew that? I heard a lot of no's.
No, he didn't know it.
I don't think he knew it either. I don't think he knew that simply grabbing that man in the collar and pushing him and then turning around and threatening to do him bodily harm was strong-arm robbery. He probably didn't know that. He knew he shouldn't have did what he did. Brother, I need you to really help me with the baby because I'm videotaping. So all that's going on the recording, okay? I'm sure he knew that what he did wasn't right. As so many of our young people do stuff they know ain't right. That's a part of being young. I did stuff I knew wasn't right. I mean, I didn't try to rob nobody, but I did other things that I knew wasn't right. Sure, and hoped I got away with a lot of stuff I did get away with. Yeah. So it's a part of being young. The Bible says it this way in Proverbs. Young people just do foolish things. Then it goes on to say, but the rod of correction will drive it far from him. I noticed that we don't see a lot of rod of correction stuff happening today. I'm a victim of the rod of correction. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Now, the rod that I was corrected with wasn't a stick rod, it was a coffee pot cord. You know them black ones with the little white thread in it? Y'all remember that? Yeah, I was good friends with that coffee pot cord. Every now and then, looked like my grandmother just had to use it just for the sake of reminding me that it exists. My grandmother didn't know anything about time out. She didn't know nothing about that. My grandmother didn't know nothing about let's sit down and talk about it. She didn't know nothing about that. When I did something I had no business doing, guess what, y'all? Coffee pot cord. And what used to really hurt me is she'd make me go get it.
Right.
Go in there and get that cord. That's so psychologically torturing. I'm going to get the very thing that's getting ready to hurt me tremendously. And if I don't hurry up and get it, she's going to spend a little bit more time with it on me. But all of that is responsible for me being Dr. Ray Hagins today with my pants pulled up. You understand what I'm saying? A person commits the crime of resisting or interfering with arrest, detention, or a simple please stop. You know, I'm not even under arrest. The cop just stopped me. Are y'all following me?
Oh, yes.
This is the letter of the law in the state of misery. Notice how I pronounced it. Knowing that a law enforcement officer is making an arrest or attempting to lawfully detain or stop an individual or vehicle, or the person reasonably should know that a law enforcement officer is making an arrest or attempting to lawfully detain or lawfully stop an individual or vehicle for the purpose of preventing the officer from effecting the arrest. There's that phrase again, effecting the arrest, stop or detention of the person. Now, do you think that Micheal Brown knew that the officer was trying to stop him? I know y'all did not say something.
No, yes.
Y'all don't think he knew that the officer was trying to stop him? I didn't say arrest him. I simply stop. Well, let me help off this man's back. I had a sister who, one of our ministers, and she called me and she said, Dr. Hagins, don't insult my intelligence. I said, what are you talking about? That was not that boy in that story. I said, okay, sister. Some of us are in so much denial because we're so angry. Don't y'all know that Dorian, his friend, gave a statement to the police about the robbery?
Yes.
Y'all, some of y'all didn't know that. That's what I'm saying. See, the media ain't gonna tell y'all some stuff because it'll mess with their agenda for emotional manipulation of the masses. They want to just present a certain side of it so you'll stay angry.
That's right. Talk about.
Why? Because it's ratings. CNN, come on, y'all. Man, they made so much money off of people watching this thing. And it's deep because I knew they was making money off of it and couldn't get away from it. I think maybe the last few days I said, okay, I just can't take this fiasco no more. Because I see what's going on. They're setting the stage, man. They're setting the stage for martial law all over this country. Y'all better hear me. All over this country. And in case you don't know it, I think Minister Herndon touched on it last week. Once martial law is declared, guess what, y'all? The writ of habeas corpus is out the window. You ain't got no rights. You can't even quote the Constitution. Once martial law is declared. Woo! Next slide. Resist the arrest, stop, or detention of such person by using or threatening the use of violence or physical force. Or by what? By what? Do y'all see it there? So that means if your nephew, and man, I hope, I pray, I plead with y'all, please, y'all, the reason why I'm making this DVD right now is because I'm going to donate 500 of them to schools and community centers and youth organizations. I'm going to just pass them out. I want money for them. I'm going to just pass them out. Please, I can't get into all I was trying to find a way that I could actually get into these community centers, but I can't get into so many of them. But if we can just get this DVD right here to a youth organization, and have the directors, have the young people sit and watch what I'm saying right now. Maybe it'll save the life of one.
Yes, yes.
Fleeing from such officer. Wow. In a nutshell, and let me just give you a nutshell statement of what's about to happen here. In other words, in the state of Missouri, if you run from a cop and he has reason to believe that you committed a crime, like seeing some cigarillos in your hand, matching the description of what we just stolen out of school.
Right.
Are y'all following this? Then you give him probable cause. And once you run according to the letter of the law, and damn it, I know it ain't right, but it's legal. And that's what this fight is with. According to the letter of the law, he can use deadly force to stop him. Read. A law enforcement officer need not retreat or desist from efforts to do what, y'all? Affect the arrest. Remember that. That's what we're talking about here. To affect the arrest or from efforts to prevent the escape from custody of a person. What does it say? He knows. He got proof. Thank you. The law doesn't say that he knows. If he thinks it of a person he reasonably believes to have committed an offense because of resistance or threatened resistance of the arrestee. Next slide. Law enforcement officers' use of force in making an arrest. Revised Statute of Missouri 563.046, a law enforcement officer need not retreat or desist from it. Did you read that? Yes. Okay, next slide. In addition to the use of physical force authorized under sections of this chapter, he is, subject to the provisions of section 2 and 3 where we read, justified in the use of such physical force as he reasonably believes is immediately necessary to effect the arrest or to prevent the escape from justice. How many of our people do you think that was out there marching knows this? See, this is what I mean by not knowing how to choose your battles. Because, should I go here?
Yes.
Do I have your permission to mess with your emotions right now? Okay. I got to tell you the truth. See, we keep waiting until something happens, and then we want to do something about it. We got to stop that, man. We got to start having sessions, training sessions with our young people to equip them on how to disarm their enemy. Our young brothers don't know how to disarm the enemy. Now I'm going to give you an example of how to disarm the enemy in this kind of situation. See it in your head. Let's determine that this cop that's stopping this young brother is a bigot with a badge. And he's already approaching you, profiling you. Already. Your pants sagging ain't helping. I gotta say that again. Your pants sagging ain't helping. Wearing baggy, loose clothing ain't helping. Because they allow to think you have a weapon under all those clothes. So when an officer approaches you, you know what you have to do to disarm him right off the bat? Is step to the officer, look him in his eye, and say, "Good afternoon, sir. Is there something that I can help you with?" You just messed up his whole program. You messed up his entire program because he wasn't expecting you to come like that. When you step to him without fear, you just messed up his whole agenda. Then you say something like, let me finish this first. Go ahead. A law enforcement officer in effecting an arrest or preventing an escape from custody is justified in using deadly force only, this is how it reads in Missouri law, only when he, read it with us, say y'all, when he reasonably believes that such use of deadly force is immediately necessary to effect the arrest, and also reasonably believe that the person to be arrested. So once you understand this, then you have to disarm that officer. And when I say disarm him, I don't mean takes his gun. I don't mean that. I mean eliminate his reason for wanting to proceed further with you. Go ahead. Okay, no, you're right. Oh, okay, thank you. Here's something that many of us suffer from. I don't know if you've ever heard this before. It's called intermittent explosive disorder. And let me share something with y'all that you might not realize. How many of y'all ever heard me talk about the Tavistock Institute? Come on, people, please tell me you heard me talk about that. The Tavistock Institute is a think tank of social engineers. They're PhDs, and they actually sit around a table all day long and think about ways to manipulate the psychology of our young people in the streets. From what they listen to what they wear, to what they eat, to how they walk. So when you got music playing that's literally destroying the neurons so loud, the vibration is destroying the neurons in your brain stem. Music is so loud that 5 cars in front of you, their rearview mirror is vibrating from the boom, 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 boom. In your car. Now what's really neat about, I don't know if y'all have ever experienced that before.
Oh, yes.
I've experienced it. I've experienced sitting at a light and I am so messed up by somebody else got these speakers bigger than their car.
Hey.
Who came up with that idea? Grab this, y'all. Our young people didn't come up with this idea on their own because too many of them are doing it. It's a concept, it's a fad that's put into our communities to make our young people act a certain way. And one of the things that our young people do not understand is this music is actually designed to cause IED. Here's what it is. IED, intermittent explosive disorder. Y'all don't take my word for it. Google it right now. Google intermittent explosive disorder so you don't think Brother Ray's making this up. IED is what is y'all? A behavioral disorder characterized by what?
Explosive outbursts of anger.
Yes. What else? All to the point of rage. See our young people here. See them. That when they're approached, instead of responding appropriately, they automatically go into IED. I was so angry from all this that I stopped to get some gas yesterday, and this white boy got out of a Jeep behind me, and he said something, and I didn't understand what he said. And I had to catch myself because I went into IED. I did. I'm pumping gas, and he said something, and I didn't catch it. And I said, "What'd you say?" And he came back and said it. I said, "Oh, okay, man, okay." But, you know, an outburst, now here's the deep part about it. I want you to think about everything that's been happening. An outburst that is disproportionate to the situation at hand. See, this is what the media does. The media manipulates us into IED. Are y'all hearing me? That's what they want you to do. Trust me, martial law will not come into existence without the assistance of the media. I'll say that again. The media is going to be the primary instrument in bringing their program to pass. Because the media has the ear of the masses. How many of y'all saw the movie Swordfish with John Travolta? Oh, not enough hands. You saw that? If you remember in that movie, John Travolta was talking to the dude who was the hacker. He said, "Man, it's about distraction." And then he said, "If the eyes see it and the ears hear it, the mind will believe it." So all the media got to do is fabricate some stuff because your eyes see it, the ears hear it, the mind believe it, and folks jumped on planes and came in here. I might have dreamed this because, like I said, I was over preoccupied and I couldn't be here, so the closest I could be was right looking at it on my television, allowing the media to manipulate me too. I might have dreamt it, but was there a group of Tibetan monks that came in here?
Yes.
Since when did Tibetan monks give a damn about what's going on in black communities? Impulsive, screaming, triggered by what, y'all? talking about, man. That wasn't an inconsequential event, man. The whole world focus on Ferguson. We got the attention of the whole world. That ain't what y'all was out there for. Y'all was out there for justice for Micheal Brown, which has not yet happened according to your definition. Notice what I just said, according to your definition. Now, why did I just say that? Everybody repeat after me. There's no such thing as justice for a person. Yeah, I said it. I'll say it again. When you try to define what you think justice is, it ain't justice no more. Justice is focused on one thing, and that is the adequate behavior that should be taken as a result of the truth. That's the definition of justice. The adequate behavior that should be taken as a result of the truth. We don't know what the truth is. We know what happened, but we don't know what the truth is. And because we got emotional about it, we decided to dictate what justice ought to be. As Micheal Brown's mother said. And I think you might have heard the news commentator ask her, what would you call justice? And what did she say? Anybody know? Sorry? The arrest, conviction, and imprisonment of this police officer. And nothing else would be justice as far as she's concerned. So you mean to tell me after they go through the system, the legal system, or are you under the impression that it's just not possible for us to get justice in this country? You cannot determine based on what you think happened what justice is. Are y'all hearing me? Justice is the proper behavior taken as a result of the truth. And I found out that a lot of us, not just in this situation, a lot of us really don't want the truth. I told a brother the other day, I said, brother, Jesus ain't coming back. He ain't coming back, man. That brother went through. Okay, impulsive aggression is, notice this, y'all, and please remember this. Impulsive aggression. Please say that with me. Impulsive aggression is what? Unpremeditated. Did y'all get this? In other words, impulsive aggression means you didn't stop to think. It's unpremeditated and is defined by what? A disproportionate reaction to any provocation, real or perceived. It may not even be real. Next slide. Okay, let's deal with this right quick. I'm where I'm on time here. Let's deal with this. A statute. I asked y'all earlier. We read statutes. Now, y'all, where I'm getting ready to go right now is very deep. It's heavy. It's necessary that I tell you what I'm getting ready to say, because you don't know what I'm getting ready to tell you about. A statute is defined as a legislative rule of a society which has been given the force of law. Read that line with me, everybody. What does it say? A statute is what? Which has been given the force of law. Everybody say society. Society. Because this is where the hook sets in right here. You need to know what a society is. You think think that a society is the populace of people. That's not a society. What is a society? A society is defined what? As a number of people joined by what? Say it again. Say it again. Now I'm telling you Black's Law Dictionary, meaning of the word society. People joined by mutual consent to deliberate, determine, and act for a common goal. Guess what, y'all?
We don't have it.
I didn't mutually consent with nobody to govern me. Did you? Did y'all? Did anybody call you and ask you, do you agree to being governed by the laws of the state of Missouri? Anybody ever ask y'all that? You did not mutually consent to agree to be governed by these laws that somebody sat down and wrote and made up. But yet you are governed by them. Let's read on. The only form of government recognized as lawful. Y'all, I don't know what other church you're going to get this in.
That's right.
I'm serious, man. I don't know what other Black organization, whether it's community or religious, that's going to teach you this. I just saw some folks, we don't need to know that, all we need is Jesus. We don't need to know that. We ain't going to be here anyway because the Lord comes and take us away from you. Family, this is the law, what I'm saying to you right now. The only form of government recognized as lawful in the United States of America is a representative one. That's why you have committee people. That's why you have aldermen. That's why you have senators and governors, because you elect them to office, not to just be in that office, but to represent you. That's the way this country is designed. Are y'all grabbing what I'm saying? Now here's the most powerful part of all. Representation requires mutual consent. You don't have the right to go out and represent me unless I mutually agree to it. Are y'all getting this? If I don't agree to it, then you don't have the right to represent me. Notice the last part. In the absence of, y'all, this is the law what I'm reading here. In the absence of mutual consent, check this out now, neither representation nor governance can exist. In other words, if I didn't agree to you represent me, then I am not under the jurisdiction of the laws that you wrote. Now I got to drop this on you. So then why are you under the government of the laws that you didn't agree to? Why? It's because of something called parents' patriarchy. Now please tell me you heard me say that before. See, y'all, I'm not just here talking to be talking. I'm trying to prepare you. Now, I'll take my word for it. Look it up. You got the law thing right there. Parents' patriarchy. Parents, and it's spelled P-A-R-E-N-S. Parents, which is Latin for parents. Patriarchy, which is Latin for to decide for you. The doctrine of parents' patriarchy simply says that the government says that you ain't smart enough to be your own parent. So we are going to make decisions for you. And then tell you what you must abide by. Now, here's how this works. The reason why you are under the doctrine of parent patriarch is because from the day you were born until the present moment, unless you submitted the right documents to get rid of all that, your mother signed some paperwork to get you a certificate of live birth. And when she signed that paperwork, she didn't realize that she was giving the government the power to be your parent. Not just to get a social security number, not just to get a certificate of live birth, but also to make you a ward of the state. So because you have been a ward of the state since you've been born, the state is making decisions for you. Are y'all getting this? So you say, well, Brother Ray, what must I do to change that? See, in other words, y'all, it's called acquiescence. Acquiescence is when you agree to a thing simply because you haven't said anything otherwise. Right. Y'all okay? I mean, I'm not talking too much stuff for you. I want you to understand how we have to disarm this government from having the power over us. Otherwise, they will do stuff and make you pay for it, which has been happening anyway. The people on the state level in Jefferson City making decisions for the citizens of Missouri, and you don't know nothing about it. How you going to make a decision for me without asking me? But because you are automatically a ward of the state, they have the right to do that. So what you have to do, if you want to do it, I did it. What you have to do is file the proper paperwork to let them know that you do not agree to other powers making decisions over your life. That's all you got to do. You have that right. It's called unalienable, not inalienable, unalienable right. You have the right to be a child of God, governed by common law or the Spirit of God at work in you. Y'all ain't hearing me. I know I've said this before. I think one Sunday not too long ago, I had Minister Stewart read excerpts from a document that I filed with Attorney General Holder and Chris Coster. Y'all know who Chris Coster is? Yes. Who does not know who Chris Coster is? Who's he? Okay, y'all live here in Missouri. Y'all need to know who he is. Chris Coster is the Attorney General of the state of Missouri. Okay? And you need to file the proper paperwork with the Attorney General and Chris Coster, simply letting them know that you don't agree with being governed without your consent. That's all. Well, Brother Ray, you trying to tell us to give up our citizenship? No. This ain't got nothing to do with citizenship, and you ain't going to lose your social security. You see, I know us. I'm telling you. When I try to teach this, first thing folks go, well, is that going to affect my social security? No, it's not going to affect your social security in any way whatsoever. It's not going to affect anything. Only thing it's going to do is it's going to let them know that you don't agree with being governed by them without your permission. You tell your family that. You tell your loved one. Don't be making no doggone decisions without me knowing about it.
Right.
But you won't tell that to the government. You grab what I'm saying? Now, how many of y'all got your smartphones out?
Got it.
All right? Google right now this here. Notice of understanding and intent and claim of right. Don't ask me for mine. Okay, see, it's deep, because when I teach on stuff like this, folks bombard me after it's over to Dr. Ray, and I see your notes, you understand the thing right, so I can copy yours. No, you don't want to copy mine because you have to be able to stand on your own feet to defend your notice. You grab what I'm saying? Has anybody Googled it yet? Notice of understanding and intent and claim of right. Notice what it is now. You're serving notice on the government of what you understand about certain laws. Okay? So it's a notice of understanding and intent. You're serving notice of your intent to not be governed by laws you don't agree with. Are y'all getting this? And then the last part is your claim of right. You are literally claiming what your rights are. You're not sitting back waiting for them to legislate what your rights are. You're claiming it yourself. Does anybody see it on there? Y'all see it? Notice of understanding and claim of right. There are so many templates there that you can download, fill it out, and send it in. And so then here's what happens. When you fill it out, now please don't all y'all do that this week, because they're going to know somebody in St. Louis is telling these black folk how to have power. You get what I'm saying? Okay, so don't everybody rush into it right now, because all these documents coming to Eric Holder from St. Louis, Missouri. It's common sense. Now here's how this works. When you go through it, read through it, and see what tailors to you. Put your name in it. Pick any one of the templates. Okay? Go through it. When you fill it out, you have it notarized by Notary Public. In case y'all didn't know, the Notary Public is one of the most powerful things on the planet. Because when a Notary Public notarizes your signature, your document, it is equivalent to a court order. Can anybody bear witness to what I'm saying? Yes. Now, here's the other thing. After you have it notarized, you mail it, registered mail. Make 3 or 4 copies of it, and have each copy notarized. Don't have it notarized, then make copies of it. Make 3 or 4 copies and have each copy notarized in blue ink. Signature. Are y'all following me? I'm trying to give you the power to disarm the adversary. Once you have it notarized, send a copy to Eric Holder, send a copy to the Attorney General of Missouri, whatever state you live in, okay, and they have 14 days or 21 days, however many days you put in there, okay, to show you where you are wrong in what you're saying. They're not going to do it, though. Because you're being informed. You're taking your power. And once they do not invalidate what you said in the given period of time, you establish what is called automatic estoppel. Okay? You got the law thing there. Look up the word estoppel. I'll tell you what it means, though. It means it has to stop right here and can't go no further. Y'all grabbing this? Automatic estoppel to everything that you said in your notice of understanding and intent claim of right. Once you get it back, now send it registered mail, not certified mail. Does anybody know the difference? What's the difference? Not only do they have to sign for it, certified mail they sign for it. Registered mail means that only the person that you addressed it to can open it. That's the power of registered mail. It is actually a federal crime for anybody to open registered mail other than who it's addressed to. So once you send it to Eric Holder, guess who has to open it? Eric Holder, not his secretary. He has to open it. Once you send it to, I don't know who the Attorney General is here now. I was Chris Costa when I filed mine. Who's the Attorney General here now? Oh, it's still him? Okay. Only Chris Costa can open it and read it. And once you get the receipts back of your registered mail, that's proof of service. Are y'all getting what I'm saying? Once the proof is that they've been served, then you attach copies of the proof of service to your notice of understanding and take paper right, and go file it in the Recorder of Deeds office in St. Louis County. If you live out there or in the city here, if you live in the city, you go file it and that becomes your law. That becomes your power. And once you have that kind of power in your back pocket, make copies of it. Keep one in your pocket, keep one in your car, keep one under your pillow, keep one, give one to your mama, your grandmama, your uncle. Send copies to the sheriff, the chief of police, because they have to file this in their records. Are y'all following what I'm saying? And this has to go into their computers that you are no longer a statutory citizen. Wow. Once you take away the power of their statutes, it puts you on another level. Have y'all ever heard of this phrase before? Diplomatic immunity. Yes. Y'all ever heard that concept before? That's in essence what we're saying here. Now, of course, to get diplomatic immunity, you got to go to the State Department. That's the same power. You have your own document here. That is what's called a tacit contract. A tacit contract means, and by the way, y'all, in a courtroom, the most powerful document in a courtroom is called a contract. You have a tacit contract. What makes it a tacit contract? Because you stipulated what is going to be, and when the attorney generals of the country and the state did not respond to you in the given amount of time, that contract went into effect because of acquiescence. Am I talking too much, y'all?
No, sir.
We got to free ourselves, man. You will never be free as long as you are governed by their statutes. Please hear what I'm saying. You just keep getting angry. And you'll keep marching. And they're going to let you march because they have learned that black folk like to march. That's why Captain Johnson went and told all of us, y'all march all night long if you want to. Make all the noise you want, because that ain't going to change a doggone thing. You might feel better, but it ain't going to change the law.
That's right.
Brothers and sisters, these laws that I just read to you, these statutes, they need to be changed. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? Those laws need to be changed, so that these cops will stop getting away with this mess. They need to be, listen, they've been revising them. So why can't we get together and revise it and submit it to the state representatives? Put it on the floor. Why can't we do that?
That's right.
Yes, we can. We can do that.
Yeah, that's power.
Thank you. That's power. We ain't got to get out and say no justice, no peace. Rewrite the damn law. That's the power. So I'm scheduling some meetings while I'm here. Next couple of weeks, give us some people who have influence with lawmakers. Say, let's get this law changed. Because as long as that law is there, that means that all a cop got to do is say, I had reason to believe.
That's right.
We need to rewrite that law to whereas it's going to take more than a damn reason to believe in your sick mind. We need to rewrite these laws, revise them.
That's right. Talk about.
So these law enforcement officers understand that it's going to take more than a testimony on my part. We can have these laws rewritten to say it's automatic suspension.
Right.
Automatic suspension until a thorough investigation takes place. Not paid administrative leave. Come on, man. You just took somebody's life and you vacationing now. And getting paid for it. I told you, y'all, everybody got paid. Except the protesters.
Right.
Gotta change these laws, family. Let me close with this last thing here. Yes, that's what I'm going to close with. Do y'all have the papers, force continuum, and law enforcement? Pass them out. Brothers and sisters, the paperwork that I'm giving to you right now, paperwork that I'm giving to you right now. Please, I'm begging y'all, take what I'm giving to you right now and promise to teach at least 3 young people a week what you got in your hand. Make copies and give it out. If you have access to a copier on your job, make a whole lot of copies and just give it out. Are there any, everybody got one? I got to go through this real quick because I'm at the 90-minute mark on this tape here, and I only have about 110 minutes of video time. So I got to go through this in about 10, 15 minutes here. Brothers and sisters, are y'all all right? I hope y'all appreciate getting this information. I really hope y'all appreciate it. Y'all, listen, when I stand and talk like this, it's very draining.
Yes, it is.
You know, because I know that your emotions do not like what I'm saying. And I feel that. But again, y'all, we got to learn to leave our emotions out of this. You cannot go into warfare emotional. You will get killed. You have to keep your cool. The use of force continuum in a law enforcement encounter. Everybody say force continuum. Now, I think I taught on this before too. Didn't I? I wasn't here?
Yes.
Okay. Most law enforcement agencies have policies that guide their use of force. These policies describe an escalating series of actions. An escalating series of actions. An escalating series of actions an officer may take to resolve a situation. This continuum generally has many levels, and officers are instructed to respond with a level of force appropriate to the situation at hand, acknowledging that the officer, notice this part now, read this last line, what does it say? Acknowledging that the officer may do what? Move from one part of the continuum to another in a matter of seconds. In other words, there's no rule that says that an officer has to go from step 1 to step 2, and from step 2 to step 3. An officer has the right, according to the law of force continuum, to go from level 1 to level 4 if he or she feels that they have to do that. You got what I'm saying? An example of the use of force continuum is follows. The first level in force continuum is what is called officer presence. Officer presence, no force is used on this level. It's considered the best way to resolve a situation. And the best officer presence simply means exactly what it says. When people see a cop present. In other words, somebody may be getting ready to do something they know they ain't got no business doing. And they see a cop walking up over here, they change their mind. How many times have you been riding down the highway and you know you're getting up, you're getting down, you're rolling, and and all of a sudden you see a patrol car on the edge, on the side of the road. You don't even think about it. Your foot automatically comes up off that accelerator. That's called officer presence. Enforced continuum. I've gone past police cars and slowed down, and when I got to them, wasn't even nobody in it. They do that in the state of Pennsylvania a lot. They'll park a trooper's cruiser on the side of the road, knowing that as soon as somebody sees that cruiser, they're going to slow down. So the officer's attitudes are professional and non-threatening on this first level. Now, when this level does not work, they go to the next level, which is what? Verbalization. This is not physical at this point. This is when officers issue calm, non-threatening commands, such as, let me see your driver's license, your registration. Okay? Or, come down from me. Now, when that doesn't work, the officer escalates to the next level in verbalization, where they raise their voice, they increase their volume, and they shorten their commands in an attempt to gain what? Compliance. How many of y'all have ever heard this before? Failure to comply. Yes. You do not want to do that. Short commands might include stop, freeze, don't move. Now, the voice is a little bit more heightened now. It's a little more louder. Don't move! Police officers, don't move! And that's what they mean. And some of our young brothers take off running when they hear that. I know they understand English. I know they do. Personally, in this situation, this tragedy we just had, now, I could be wrong, but let me tell you what I think happened. Now, this is Ray Hagins' conjecture here. What I think happened is when the police officer backed up and confronted Michael, Michael knew that he had just robbed the store. So he's got to get out of here now. He's got to book, he's got to bounce. What do you think? He's got to bounce. He knew he had just robbed the store. The broadcast went out. And when this officer backed up with the purpose of preventing their path any further, it's like, oh man, shoot. I can't get caught with this right here. I'm getting ready to go to college. Y'all getting this? I'm getting ready to go to college, man. Can't mess that up. So let me take a chance on getting away. Not knowing the letter of the law that says now you can take that officer to a higher level in the force continuum. Our young people don't even know anything about what you're reading right now in your paper. The next level, if verbalization doesn't work, is called empty hand control. Now, in your mind, I want you to see the situation with Eric Gardner. They were using the level of voice command, and it wasn't working. So then the police officers used the next level of force and force continuum, which is empty hand control. Officers use bodily force to gain control of the situation. Soft technique, officers use grabs, holds, joint locks to restrain an individual. I'm sure you've probably seen that where officers got somebody's hand behind their back. If the soft technique is not working, what did they use next? It's right there in front of you, family. You got to try to guess. What is it? Hard technique. Officers use punches and kicks to restrain an individual. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. I saw it. Maybe you didn't see it. After they got into this thing for a few nights, they arrested this guy. They arrested him, and they were carrying him to the detained vehicle. In handcuffs, he's still kicking him and wrestling. Now, because the cameras was on him, the cops had to be careful. But even handcuffed, the very fact that he was still kicking everything, guess what, y'all? By law, that's called resisting. cameras hadn't been there, I'm sure a few punches would have been thrown to try to get him to calm down. Next level is what? Less lethal methods. Officers use less lethal technology to gain control of the situation, such as, now open hand techniques are not working now. Okay, still resisting, then they start using what's called blunt impact. That's when they use their baton or a projectile like rubber bullets to immobilize a combative person. Or chemicals, what we call pepper spray, mace. Officers use chemical sprays or projectiles embedded with chemicals to restrain an individual. And then when that doesn't work, there's another level that's less lethal. It's called conducted energy devices. Most people call them tasers. By the way, I'm going to ask a question because I have not seen it, because I saw the shooting of this other brother over there on Riverview. On Riverview and McLaren, you know, and it's deep. Now let me share right quick what I'm talking about. Okay? In my opinion, there was no need for both cops to shoot the man. That was completely unnecessary, in my opinion. But it was in my head that mattered. It's what in whose head? The officer. Right. Now, here's how this goes. Let me give you their explanation for what they did. I'm going to tell you right off the bat what they said. Okay? The officer that was on the passenger side, on the sidewalk, okay, who the guy was closest to, he was coming toward him. So that officer had a reasonable right to fear for his safety. Yes. Okay? And another thing, so that y'all will know this, officers are trained to shoot center mass. Did y'all hear what I said?
Yes.
Y'all know what center mass is? Right here. They're not trained to shoot in the leg. Okay? Especially when you're trying to stop somebody, because they may keep coming. Okay? They're not trained to shoot in the arm. No, they're trained to shoot right here, center mass. Okay? And if necessary, then they have to act like it's a walking dead and shoot him in the head. To stop the person. So that's what it's about. Stopping the advance. Is it right? Nope. Is it legal? Yes. That's why I said these laws got to be changed, man. Now, here's what I was about to ask. I haven't seen it. When Queen Angela and I were talking about it, we were talking about the use of tasers. Especially this young man on Riverview in Atlanta. Okay? But you know something? Now, I could be wrong. I haven't seen too many St. Louis City cops with tasers.
They have them.
You know, it's really deep because, I notice stuff like that. And every cop that I have seen that's a St. Louis County, city cop, I see their gun on their side, but I don't see the taser over there on this side.
It's yellow.
I know it. Believe me, I know the color. That's what I'm telling you. I haven't seen it. Now, I'm not saying that they don't have it. I'm simply saying that most St. Louis City cops that I've seen don't have tasers. Now, I want y'all to start noticing that. Okay, when you leave about here today, every cop you see if they have a taser. Yes, sir, brother. Depends on the district. I can't hear nothing you're saying, man. Okay. Now the reason why I'm saying this is because the cops that shot that dude on Riverview didn't have tasers. They didn't have tasers. So people are saying, why didn't they use their taser? They didn't have tasers.
And then the Chief Johnson said because the person had on the jacket and they can't feel a taser was used.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. It has both probes have to make contact with the skin before a taser is effective. Man. Y'all see what our predicament is here? Okay, last is lethal force. Officers use lethal weapons to gain control of the situation, should only be used if a suspect poses a serious threat to the officer or another individual. Now notice how that reads. It should only be used if the suspect poses a serious threat to the officer. Most states in this country have that wording, but not Missouri. Missouri, we just read it. Somebody could be running from the officer.
That's right.
In Missouri, and in Missouri, the cop got the right to use deadly force to effect an arrest. What kind of daggone sense does that make? How you gonna use deadly force to effect an arrest? How you gonna arrest somebody if they're dead? Only Missouri, man, got that. Wow. Officers use deadly weapons such as firearms to stop an individual's actions. Brothers and sisters, there is so much more I can say on this. There's so much more I can say on this. I'm going to end this and then take a couple of minutes of Q&A, okay? But I want to actually formally end this for the sake of the video. It's recording. All right? Those of you who've been watching this video, I hope something that I said in this video will help you help our young people stay alive. That's really why I'm making this video. Okay, this is Brother Ray's way of protesting, by educating. I don't march, I teach. I don't sing, I teach. Well, I can sing, but in situations like this, we have to provide the information necessary to save our people. So share this video, please. Share it with community organizations. Share it with pastors. Ask your local pastor in your community if you can show this video one night in their church when they ain't jumping up and down. Okay, this is very important. We got to get this information out. So thank you for buying this DVD, and thank you for helping to rescue our youth. Love you guys out there. We leave you with the words of Mama Tell. To our internet audience, thank you for being with us today. I hope that something I said also enlightened you to have better equip you for this work of rescuing our young people. Brothers and sisters, I can't stress this enough. Please hear me. The killing of our young people is getting ready to escalate in a very fearful manner. It's a part of the genocide program. The people who used to wear white hoods and white robes, they're wearing badges and black robes now. And we got to prepare our people to deal with this warfare. So please share this information with others. Thank you for being with us. Now take a moment before you cut us off. Take a moment and send in a donation here to help us with the work that we're doing here at the African Village. Go to AfricanVillage1@AOL.com. That's African with the letter K, AfricanVillage1@AOL.com. And donate whatever the Creator places on your heart to send us to help us with the work here. Guys out there, we love you. We thank the Almighty for you. And until next time, everybody out there, stay strong. Let's give our internet audience a hand. Okay.